Thank you so much. I have the file. You said
Getting too old for this job.
never too old for this job. What are you talking about?
You can only imagine how that.
The court's in receipt of the file for Ms. Hill. I'd like to do them one at a time so that the court may inquire of Ms. Hill as to representation. We're back on the record with Sumter versus Goodloe. Mr. Bowditch, you were starting to say the terms of the resolution of this matter will be,
Your Honor, Ms. Goodloe would be pleading guilty to an added count of being a disorderly person with the understanding the original charge would be dismissed. Also with the understanding the matter would be taken under deferred status for 1 year. If there are no further incidents of this nature or any nature, the matter would be reviewed for dismissal.
The only addition to that, Your Honor, is there would be absolutely under no circumstances any contact with the family next door, the complaining witnesses in this case, or the family that reside at the location.
next door would be,
The location is 10595 Lawsonville Road is where the complainants reside, is that right? And Ms. Goodloe resides at 10505 Lawsonville Road. 10525, I apologize.
no worries.
And Your Honor, these are rural properties.
I know where they are.
There's acres between them. You're not talking about immediately.
Was that the extent of the agreement?
No contact is what's important to the complaining witnesses who are subpoenaed and are here in court today, and they have no objection to the court entertaining that request.
Thank you. Ma'am, raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Bowditch, including all possible penalties. And after speaking with him, you wish to waive your right to have the bench trial this morning and enter into a plea. You understand that if the court accepts your plea of guilty to being a disorderly person, you will not have a trial in this matter. You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor. And ma'am, as to this count of disorderly person, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty. Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty? Ma'am, on March 12, 2022 in Sumter Township, did you do something to disrupt the peace and solitude of the residents of 10595 Rawsonville Road in Sumter Township? Mr. Bowditch, would you like to inquire further of your client?
Defense is satisfied, Your Honor, if the court's satisfied.
Is the prosecution satisfied?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Ms. Goodloe, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the added count of being a disorderly person, dismiss the original charge in this matter of being a person conducting, being a person engaged in indecent exposure.
Thank you, Your Honor.
As for sentencing in this matter, the parties have already agreed that this will be a deferred sentence for 12 months. And ma'am, you understand that during these 12 months, you are to incur no new criminal charges, and you're to have no contact with the people who live at the property at 10595 Rawsonville Road.
Yes, ma'am.
No contact means no contact.
Yes, ma'am.
And just so we're clear, no contact means no direct contact, no contact with third parties, no contact through social media.
Hallelujah. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
If this court receives a complaint from Sumter Township or the residents at 10595 Rawsonville Road, the court will find you to be, could find you to be in violation of the terms of this plea agreement. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And the plea agreement would be set aside,
Yes, ma'am. I
and you would be,
understand.
and you would be subject to the penalties of the original charge.
Yes, ma'am.
I know exactly where the houses are. I know it's easy to not have contact, and I'll take you at your word that we will not have contact.
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, because I know that this was a contentious matter, remember when we were here for pretrial, the court will impose minimal costs in this matter, but we still have to do it just. We're required to by court rules, so we will do it in this case. The court will assess costs of $200, absolutely minimal, 12 months, no contact, no new criminal offenses. The file will be administratively reviewed and dismissed. Understood. Anything else, Mr. Young?
Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Bowditch? Ms. Goodlow, how long do you need to pay the $200? Okay. It's not going to be today because the file will need to be processed, but the last thing I need to do is make sure that the residents at 10595 Rawsonville Road are here this morning and agree to this plea.
You want to stand up, both of you guys?
Put your name on the, say your name.
And although, thank you, and although you are not parties to this case in title, no contact is usually a mutual thing. And neighbors who have issues tend to kind of poke at each other a little bit. So no. You can ask your question.
Our property that we have avoided for the last 6 months is still our property.
But you're not allowed to go.
Ms. Goodlow, and see, this is,
Solution.
thank you.
So I was talking with them today. I'm going through a neighbor dispute, peaceful. I'm paying for one of the posts for a survey. He says that his property was surveyed, not mortgage surveyed, an actual survey. So there's posts. We don't have a problem going out there and taking a look at the post, allowing you and explaining to you that this is indeed the post. And if the post is where they say it is, it may be right along your driveway. So that grassy area, then tree line would then be theirs. But we can facilitate that for the court where we all can go out there
But what are you coming over there for? There's nothing.
because
over
it's
there
their
for-
property.
There's no water over there. There's nothing over there. That opens
It's their
up to my
property.
house, to my property. What do you want over there? You can't go back there on the back property no more. Right?
That is true.
Okay.
What she's saying there is absolutely correct because the property,
Can I show you the picture, ma'am?
Hold on for 1 second. See, this is the thing. No. I've been in a neighborhood dispute. So I understand what it takes, and it's one little thing that starts a whole nother round of things. And unless people just like coming to this building, which I don't know why you would voluntarily come here.
No, I want it fixed because with them not cutting it or not allowing me to cut it, makes my yard look a total mess.
But
And my driveway.
did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
That there is neighborhood resolution, you may be seated. Neighborhood resolution, that the police will go out, confirm where the property line is, have conversation with you, have conversation with the McMillans, and there is a way to live peaceably. Your houses aren't 30 feet apart. There's no reason for it to be a contentious thing. So it means we let go of whatever happened March 12, 2022 and before. We decide that October 6th, 7th, good grief, October 7th, 2022 forward, we want to live in peace.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Were you done with your explanation of what you'll do when you go out there?
we'll show where the post is. And everybody just has to accept it, that that's the post. If that's an actual survey post and it's stamped with the survey post, then we know that that's a survey post. Because part of the contention between the two is where is the property line? The county GFI puts it right on the property line or on the driveway line. But at my residence, it's starting to look like the GFI lines are actually wrong.
Okay,
So we'll go for a factual reason, look at it. Both sides have got to accept it.
Right, and I have no problem with it. 'cause-
And then after that, you
Yeah,
just have to
can't go back
accept.
there and back no more, so I have no problem. Just keep it cut. That's it.
and the reason that the court inquired the way it did is because I knew there was something underlying.
It's the property line.
I understand. Our fight was over a bush. I know exactly what it looks
Yeah.
like.
The end
And
of
you
the
decide that you want peace.
property.
Yes.
And at this stage in life, most people just want peace.
yes.
We've gone over the fines and costs. We've gone over the length of the deferment. We've had conversation with both you and your neighbors. And as pleasant as you've been this morning, I'd like not to see you again.
You
So
want
no
to-
contact is no, well, I'd like not to see you in this setting again. How's that?
Good. Yeah,
Okay.
you can see me at church.
Anything else in this case, Mr. Young? Anything else in this case, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ma'am, you may be seated.
Your Honor, should she stay up here with her daughter?
Does she need to?
Yes.
Okay. This is 220526OM. This is Sumter Township versus Serena Hill.
Robert Young, Sumter Township, Your Honor.
Your Honor, for the record, Jeffrey Bowditch, appearing on behalf of, and with Ms. Hill, in place of the attorney of record, Mr. Gunn. Ms. Hill, do you mind me standing up here?
Ma'am? State your name for me, please. Ms. Hill, you were last here with me on September 8th, 2022, and your attorney at that time was Mr. Nunley. You have to say the word. And you understand that you have a case scheduled for hearing with Judge Green this week on October 13th? But you've had the opportunity to speak to Attorney Bowditch this morning, and you wish to resolve this matter with the entry of a plea agreement? And you're okay proceeding with Mr. Bowditch this morning instead of Mr. Nunley? Okay, thank you. Mr. Young, the court notes your appearance for the record. Mr. Bowditch, the court has your appearance. This matter was scheduled with Judge Green for next week, but all of the necessary parties are here this morning. How are we proceeding?
Your Honor, I believe we have an executed plea agreement subject to court approval, in which Ms. Hill would be pleading guilty to the charge of assault in battery, with the understanding that it would be taken under deferred status for the same length of time as court.
Your Honor, no contact was similar to what was imposed in this case, which we're asking the court to impose.
Your Honor,
Yes, absolutely. Mr. Young? Away from the microphone. Mhm. You don't have JIS in here, do you? Do we need to make the request, the formal request?
Yes.
Ms. Hill, you had the chance to speak to Mr. Bowditch this morning about your case
Yes.
and all the penalties that you would be subject to in this matter. Ms. Hill,
Just answer her and say yes.
no, I know it might be difficult, but the court needs to make a record of you responding.
And your voice is a record.
I understand. And Ms. Hill, you wish to resolve this case this morning by entering a plea of guilty as charged to the, I'm sorry,
no contest.
entering a no contest plea to the charges against you. You understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind? You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor. And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily. You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty. I'm sorry, to plead no contest in this matter. Ms. Hill, do you acknowledge that something happened on June 23rd, 2022 in Sumter Township that started with a neighborhood dispute? And ma'am, there was a police report that was generated in response to that issue on June 23rd, 2022. Ms. Hill? And the attorneys have agreed that the court may rely on the police report for the basis of your plea. You understand that? The court is now in receipt of the police report from the Sumter Township Police Department, which indicates that on June 23rd, 2022 at 7:11 PM, a neighborhood dispute over a property line between 10525 Rawsonville Road and 10595 Rawsonville Road concluded with or included the defendant, in this case, Ms. Hill, pepper spraying her neighbor, Karen McMillan, during a verbal argument. Inasmuch as this is a no contest plea, Mr. Young, are you satisfied with the factual basis that the court has read from the police report into the record?
Maybe, Your Honor, we finished with that. One modification to the plea, I forgot to put on the record, but I have no objection to that.
Okay. And Mr. Bowditch, same question. Are the contents of the police report, which the court just read into the record, sufficient factual basis for the no contest plea in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor, defense is satisfied.
And before you add your modification, is Ms. Karen McMillan in the courtroom? And ma'am, you're in agreement with the plea that's going to be entered this morning in this matter? Thank you. Your modification, sir.
Yeah, we talked about restitution. She had to go to the hospital and there is probably, well, there's medical insurance coverage, but there may be some co-pays. And I spoke to Mr. Bowditch, we would submit that to the court within 30 days for review. If there's any question about that, we can have that discussion.
Mr. Young, the only question would be, this is from June of 2022. Do we have an estimate on the restitution? Or have you just not, Ms. McMillan, you may be seated. Or have you just not received the?
Estimate, I would say $400. I just got the bill.
Understood. Both of the attorneys have already indicated they were satisfied with the plea as it was placed on the record. Ms. McMillan, you may be seated. Ms. McMillan, the complainant in this case, has also acknowledged that she's satisfied with the plea that was entered this morning. Ms. Hill, the court will take your plea of no contest to the charge of assault and battery. Your sentence in this matter is deferred for a period of 12 months. That means that you are to incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan over the next year. You will pay the court will impose costs of $200 in this matter. The court will also allow 30 days for Ms. McMillan to submit her uncovered medical expenses resulting from whatever it is that occurred on June 23rd, 2022. And that will be added to the file as restitution payable from you to Ms. McMillan. So long as you pay the restitution, the $200, and incur no new criminal offenses in the next 12 months, the court will pull the file, review it administratively for dismissal. Anything else, Mr. Young?
Your Honor, thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. We did not say, is there also no contact?
No contact. Your Honor.
Ms. Hill, you were in the courtroom when I went over with Ms. Goodlow what no contact means, correct? You are to have no contact with the people who reside at 10595 Rawsonville Road, understood?
Yes.
We didn't go into detail with Ms. Goodlow, but based on her response to the court's inquiry regarding no contact, the suggestion would be from this court that if you go out on that piece of property that is contested and you see anyone from 10595, you retreat and go back into the house or go to the other side of the yard or something other than engage with them. Understood? Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Young? Anything else, Mr. Bowditch?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. You both have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
I have another one at 10:30.
Thank you. I'm waiting for our 9 o'clocks. Yes.